What's up, everyone? We wanted to show you some of the new features we're working on and some of the new things we're planning to launch soon.
All right, cool. So as you guys may know, our main focus has been to get caught up on orders, getting everything shipped out as fast as we can. That's still our main goal. That's still number one. We actually just finally got we're pretty much fully stocked on all the parts we need for all the builds that we currently have sold, and now we're starting to work on ordering parts to plan for the upcoming estimate of the next 2 weeks of sales. So that's what we're working on now. So that's going really, really good. And yeah, right now the builders are in the back and they're killing it. They're building super fast. They're going hard. And so while they're doing that, we're gonna sit up here. I'm gonna actually be working on some of the new ideas that we're planning to launch soon. And I wanted to kind of show you guys what we're planning to do. Kind of walk through the process of okay, how do we come up with a new idea, what goes into it, and then we'll kind of break it down. I'll show you everything, and then I want to actually get your guys' opinion on it. So I want to see what you guys think. If you guys have any suggestions or think we should kind of have an idea of where we might be able to add some other feature that might be even more beneficial. All right, so I am really pumped for the next two things we're going to be launching. So what they are is one of them is a full custom build tab. So you start by choosing your case, and then it lists all the different parts. You can choose whether you want an Intel-based or AMD-based platform, and then it presents you a bunch of different options. You choose all the different options you want. The PC comes to you, built, stress tested, ready to go, and you still only pay that $99 build fee, and you get to choose all the parts yourself. So it's totally custom. It's sweet. I'm really excited to launch that one. So we're going to work on kind of styling the way that the shop and the product page are going to look for that, the way that it's going to be the kind of the functionality of the page for the customer who's looking to buy one. So we're going to design all that kind of stuff today. And then the other thing we're going to be launching is the DIY PC. Like a DIY tab. So pretty much what it is we plan out bundles, and they're just bundles of parts, and it's designed so that for people who want to build their own PC, but don't want to deal with trying to figure out, okay, what part combos go with what's a good mix of components to give me a lot of performance for my money. If I want to buy this processor, what motherboard has to go with that? How do I make sure I don't have bottlenecking issues? Because I mean, building the PC yourself, yeah, it's not a super simple thing, but it's not crazy difficult. What takes more time to learn is actually all the components that go together, trying to figure out what causes bottlenecking, just figuring out all compatibility and what's going to actually be a good combo for your money. So that's kind of our goal, is to simplify that whole process. And now you also save on that $99 build fee. We actually kind of work directly with manufacturers to try to say, hey, we're going to be selling your products here. Can you give us a discount? So we actually have it where the manufacturers are going to be more paying us, so that you still pay the same price on your end, but you get all the added benefit of having all of the parts pre-designed and put together for you. You'll also have dedicated hardcore in detail build instructions, so you can follow it step by step. You'll also have access to our customer support line. So even if you get stuck, you can give us a call and we can kind of walk you through it. So there's a lot of people aren't going to want to deal with building at all. Some people may want to learn, but don't want to have to deal with all the time and effort that goes into learning exactly what components go together. So that's a little bit about our kind of mindset on it. So our kind of rough plan for styling with the custom tab is we want to have the picture of the case. You start off by choosing the case. Once you choose the case, it asks you if you want to do Intel or AMD, and then at that point, once you choose Intel, it then on the side presents all of the different spec options you can choose. So it'll say CPU, motherboard, GPU, and then you have the option to scroll to see all the different options offered. Once you select a CPU, it limits the motherboards based on which ones support that CPU, so it makes it really easy so you don't have any issues with getting something that's not compatible. So it's designed to make it really nice. I also want to add something that, based on the parts you choose, gives you an FPS estimate in a few different games, as well as a stream or VR rating, something along those lines. Something so if you change around your specs and you want to see, okay, if I add 16 gigs of RAM, how is that actually going to affect my FPS? How is that going to affect its streaming capability? If I want to, let's say, upgrade from this i5 to an i7, where is that really going to help me? Is it going to be worth the extra cost, or should I just stay with the i5? So we're trying to find a way to do that. That's a little bit more complicated because there's like more of an algorithm that goes into it then that I'll have to create that says like, okay, if this, then choose this, but if this, choose this. So, but that is something that I think will be really, really beneficial. And so I want to make sure we find some way to get that in there. With the DIY PC tab, I'm not as certain on how I want it set up. What I imagine is just kind of pictures of the components with the names and prices, and it just kind of shows everything that's included, and the customer can then see everything, see all the prices under each part, then see the full summary at the end that says like all the parts, total price, this is what you get, lays it all out, explains everything, because I want to make sure everyone understands when they go to the DIY PC tab like what it's designed for, who it's designed for, and helps people determine like, okay, is this the best option for them, or should they get a custom built, or should they get one of our normal pre-builts. So we want to make sure that like it gives them all the info without like completely just being like paragraphs of text that's just ugly to look at. That's kind of like the consistent battle with designing a website and designing pages like this, is you want to give the customer or the viewer like a ton of information, but at the same time, you want it to look nice. So you want to have it where it's kind of more, I'll say, like simplified and really sleek looking and kind of like a seamless design, but also give the customer info. So it's kind of a back and forth battle of like trying to get all the info, but still make the website look really, really nice. All right, so now I'm actually gonna like go in Photoshop and design everything related to it, to both new ideas. And so we're gonna actually design it all out so we can show the web developers. So let's dive in. Alright, so we got done designing it. Here's kind of what we've come up with. I'm liking it. So if you take a look here, what'll happen is it actually starts, this is how it looks on when you first click on the tab. Like you click on the DIY PC tab, when you first click on that tab in here, this is the way it's designed to look on mobile. So it comes here, it gives a quick little video at the top that's going to explain exactly kind of how it all works. It gives you like a short little like paragraph that again explains it as well, and then it starts with the different options. So this is how one option will look. So you can see it shows the case, it shows the total price, gives you the add to cart, also gives you like a little synapse that says all parts including this bundle are standard and compatible. And so you can see each individual option broken down. Now this is literally just a random thing thrown together. So these like prices here and compatibility aren't even like necessarily guaranteed. So I just threw some images in here and some titles. But you can see CPU, it shows you the exact CPU, gives you a little bit of info on like the core count and threads. It shows you GPU, and it shows you gigabytes as well as the specific model. And it's just designed to kind of break everything down to be really, really easy to understand. So if you click on this, it ends up launching you to what's called the product page. And so the product page is what, like, so let's say you see one of our PCs that you're interested in, one of our pre-builts, and you see all of them on the shop page, and you click on one and then it gives you more details on it. That's the product page. So this is kind of the more details of product page. So as you can see, it gives you all of the specs now thrown together in like a box that is really easy to understand. It shows you the again, the CPU, motherboard, GPU, everything there. Shows you the case to the side. You scroll down, it shows you the video again, gives you a few different bullet points here. I'm gonna add some more stuff here. We'll also have like a spot where people can leave reviews at the bottom. And so there's definitely gonna be some more stuff that I'm gonna add to this before we actually get it live. But this is like a good rough draft. So this is, I'm thinking this is good. I think it's pretty easy to understand. But again, if you guys think either area we could improve on something, definitely let us know so we can make that happen. All right, now we have the rough idea of the custom builder. So this is, before you get to this screen, it'll ask you to choose a case. So I didn't even include that in the video, but because it's a little bit more basic. But it just asks you to start by choosing a case. Once you choose your case, it brings you here. And so this is the way it's going to look on desktop. So you can see it shows your case to the left, it shows parts price, shows the build fee is $99, it'll show you the total. Obviously all these are blank because we don't have anything selected. So once you select one of these options, it will launch you, let me pull it up. Here you can see, once you click on like Intel, it'll show you i3, i5, i7. You can break it down by which one you want, and then that'll show you the different i3s, the different i5s and i7s. So once you click on one, then it brings you to this page here. So this is roughly what the whole thing's going to look like on mobile. You choose your processor, it shows your case at the top, and then as you scroll down, it shows all the different components. So it shows your motherboards here, where then you can slide side to side to be able to see other motherboards. It shows you the GPU here, so you can also slide and see more GPUs. Gives you the option to choose none for things. If let's say you have RAM that you want to add into the computer, you don't need it, you can choose none, and then that way you don't have to pay for it if you don't need it. Gives you a couple storage options, gives you cooler options, power supply options, lets you choose whether you want Windows or not Windows. Then at the end it gives you the build summary. So you can see the colors are a little weird, but it just gives you kind of the rough idea of how it's going to look. Just gives you the build summary, allows you to in the end just place the order. So this is again the really rough draft of styling. There's not even a buy now button on this specific example, but this gives a good idea of what the styling is going to look like. Now, if you remember, I was talking about like wanting something to have kind of consistent FPS ratings and estimates, as well as the different stream ratings, VR ratings, all that stuff. So if you see here, what we added, and this is how it's going to look on mobile. So when you scroll, this bar in the top will actually scroll with you. So it'll always stay on the top of the page. And it shows you the stream rating, VR rating, shows you an FPS estimate for 3 games, just to give you a kind of a rough idea on like, okay, Modern Warfare is a more demanding game, Fortnite's kind of mid-level, CSGO is super easy. It shows you the FPS for those different ones, shows you the parts price, shows you the build fee, shows you the total you pay, and allows you to add it to the cart. And so that kind of gives you a good idea of if you want to change your processor, how does that affect all these different numbers up here. If I upgrade to an i7, now my stream rating goes to 90 out of 100, and so you can see what's going to actually get you the most of what you're looking to get out of a computer for your money. So that's kind of some of the plan there. There's a lot more that we designed with it, but I'm not going to go into all the different details of everything right now. But this should give a good idea of kind of how it's going to play out. So I'm super excited for this. All right, so now we have to kind of like, I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea of what we do to make this a reality. So I have to get this info to the web developer. So these designs and drawings will help a ton. It'll help get him some of the info that he needs to kind of get started with some of the styling. And then he'll let me know what else he needs from me to kind of like get everything finalized. But I also have to give like a full functionality description. So I'll write out it'll probably be like a 5-page document per idea. That'll just be general functionality. So if this, then we do this. I want this to be located here. When a customer clicks this is how the website should react. And so I write all that out for him so that I don't pretty much leave it up to chance. I want to make sure that it's done how I'd like it to be done, and that it's done what I deem to be correctly. And so I'd rather spend the time, write it all out for him so he can take a look and just get it all done correctly the first time, as well as then not have to ask a bunch of questions. And so I'll write those documents out, I'll send that to him, send the designs to him, and then he'll give me an idea of like, okay, we can do that. These are the other projects we're working on for you right now. Once those get done, these will probably take about this amount of time. So it might take 4 weeks to get this idea done after we have these other ones situated. And so then he'll give me that time frame, then we can give him the go ahead or tell him to hold off, and then we can kind of determine what new feature we want to put at kind of like the top priority. So what do we want to have first? But I mean, obviously in the end, like our number one goal right now is to ship PCs as fast as we can. That's what we're working on. That's what they're in the back doing right now. And I mean, number 2, we just want to continuously innovate, continue to find new ideas to offer the gaming community, because if we don't adjust anything ever, eventually we'll just go extinct. The whole goal is to continuously provide more and more value, continuously improve something, whether it's something we currently offer, launching new features, just continuously finding ways to offer different things to different people depending where they're at in the gaming community, whether they want a full pre-built PC, don't want to deal with anything, whether they know the parts they want but want it pre-built and they can go with our custom tab, or whether they want to build them themselves but don't want to deal with all the effort of learning what kind of has to go together, and that's when they choose the DIY. So all those together should make it really good. I mean, realistically, we are just getting started. There's so much more that we're going to be doing in the gaming community, and like this is just the beginning. So it's awesome to have all of you guys here with us from the beginning, and I'm super excited to see where we can go. So keep an eye on these videos, and we'll be sure to launch more, keeping you guys informed.